Buenas tardes from beautiful Matagalpa, Nicaragua. It is Saturday, April 26th at 6:24 p.m. Central Time. As you can see, the sun is down. It's a beautiful night. It's down to 78. It's going to be getting down to about 66 tonight. Updates for Journeys of a Malcontent. I am your Malcontent, Luke Graham. Updates of the last week. So as you've been hearing, I've been trying to get a lease signed. We have a lease. It is signed. Signed by me, signed by the owner. So winning. I will be moving in officially on May 1st. I actually collect the keys on April 30th. I'm going to drop off the bulk of my luggage on Wednesday evening. Official date is on May 1st. This Monday coming up prior to that, I'm going to be going over to the electric company with the lease and my passport in hand to change the service over to my name on the 1st. It's working out. Now, as you remember, I'm under the gun time-wise to get down to Migracion in Managua to handle my residencia. So my residency paperwork, the one that I had to worry about is my health certificate expires 90 days after issue. 90 days after issue is May 10th. I had hoped to go on May 1st, but May 1st is Nicaraguan Labor Day. My buddy Ron, who you saw in the video, took me down to the second round for Interpol and was my tour guide here back in 2022 when I spent the week up in Selva Negra. He's going to be doing my ride, so he's going to pick me up at dark 30 in the morning. He lives in Managua. He's going to pick me up. It's about a 2 hour plus drive up here to Matagalpa. Turn around, we get to Managua by 8 a.m. I have all my documentation. I've got my money in hand. I've got all my paperwork. Hopefully we get out of there by 2 p.m. He's going to take his daughter to get her driver's license. We're going to go grab a bite to eat. Then he's going to turn around, another 2 hour plus drive back to Matagalpa to drop me off and go about his business. That we were going to do that on May 2nd. Well, come to find out, Migracion is going to take a 4-day weekend for Labor Day. So they're not going to be open on the 2nd. They're not going to be open on the 3rd, and they wouldn't be open on the 4th on the Sunday. So now we're going to be going on Cinco de Mayo. So I'm going there on the 5th, and one of my documents expires on the 10th. So what could I have done to make this easier? In hindsight, yes, any of your state-level documents, your birth certificate, your pension statements from government entities, if you're one of those people that actually has a pension from a private industry, that stuff you need to take care of in the States before you get here. What I did is I spent a month in Managua to kind of orientate, acclimate to the weather, and take care of administrative stuff, like getting my health certificate and getting my Interpol background check. What I should have done is I should have skipped Managua altogether, come up here straight to Matagalpa, got the Airbnb that I'm in right now, stayed as long as I could, do a border run if needed, rent in more than one place if need be, until I found a long-term lease. Once you have the long-term lease, you've got a permanent address for residency purposes. Then go spend 10, 12 days in Managua, because you're going to go get your health certificate done. More often than not, that's probably going to be a 2-day process. You're going to go do lab work, a physical, get the results probably next day, and then you'll have your documentation. You'll still need to get it notarized, and you will still need to do the Interpol. Interpol is 2 visits over 8 days. You have to be there in the morning on the first day with the multiple copies of the passport and stamp pages, multiple passport photos, additional pictures, not images of, but actual pictures for an ID. And you'll get your fingerprints done, and then you'll be told to come back in 8 days. So that's a very exact time frame to do things, and the pickups in the afternoon, but the applications in the morning. So if you really want to maximize your time, if you're coming down here as a pensionado, if you're going to come down here as a retiree, not as the rentista, not as an investor, not because you married somebody who's a national here, my adjusted schedule would be get all your documentation of your finances and your birth certificate stateside done, book for as long as you can here, plan on doing a border run or two, determine where you really want to rent for a year, then go spend 2 weeks in Managua. And since you already have the permanent address, when you go over to PriceSmart to get your PriceSmart card, you're giving them your actual address. PriceSmart, which is like Costco, only accepts cash and Amex. So if you want to get the Amex card that you don't have, if you didn't have an Amex already, if you want to get the Amex through them, you've already got the permanent address in country. So that's what I could have fine-tuned, and then I wouldn't have been under this 90-day gun to get a long-term lease and turn around and go to Migracion for my paperwork. Now, one of our cohorts on the WhatsApp pages recently did his Migracion visit. They informed him it's probably going to take 3 months to process. So we're unsure if that's 3 months before he gets his in-home interview, the final step before approval, or if the entire thing will take up to 3 months. Well, ideally for me, that's going to be perfect. If I go on May 5th and it takes them 3 months to do an in-home interview, ideal. I fly back at near the end of June until middle of July back to Florida, and I'll be back here in time for Revolution Day on July 19th. So if they're not going to see me until August in my new apartment, perfecto. That means everything's working out. Even if there's a delay with that, if it's at the end of August, beginning of September, I've already got all my paperwork turned in. I don't have to worry about anything expiring. I've already got the long-term lease. I've already got electric in my name. I'm already doing my daily life, and I'm saving money. So I'm looking at $450 a month for the apartment and probably a $10. Let's just say I left the ceiling fan on 24/7 and I did loads of laundry every day, and the bill goes up to $20 a month if she's been averaging $8 and $10 a month. Honestly, the electric bill could go up to $50 a month, and I'm living on $500. The other kicker was there's a beautiful asado that I've posted before. I got a $5 steak dinner. They are 100 feet away from the new apartment. I was just there for tonight. I had barbecue pork, nachos. I had a plate of Maduro con queso. I had a Jamaica tea, and the entire bill came out to 220 cord, which is about $7 and change. And with tip, I still didn't pay $10 for my dinner, and I was stuffed. It was a huge portion of food. I'll have the pictures posted on that later. So I've got a very inexpensive place to get quality, local, family-owned business food 2 doors down from where I'm going to be staying. I'll have all this done with Migracion on the 5th, and then I'm in a holding pattern. So with the amount of money saved with only spending about $500 a month on the rent, and let's just say I continue doing 2 meals a day out of house, and I drop, we'll just go crazy on it. Let's just say I drop $30 a day. That's $1,000 a month in food and $500 a month for room and board. I'm living on my Social Security, and I'm banking my VA money and my state pension money to the tune of a year of renting means I can go purchase land and start construction on Manzana, which is 1.7 acres. So I'm currently working on a 3D model program right now of that land, working out the outer wall for it, designing the simple structures for the staff housing, and doing the rest of this. So I'm still planning on using shipping containers. And the tweak with that is instead of spending lots of money on a very large concrete slab, which is expensive to pour, I'm looking to use concrete pillars underneath all the stress points under these, and I want to leave a 4-foot riser underneath. 1, so you have complete access to the piping below. 2, it's air ventilation below. 3, water is not going to collect underneath it, and here we have to be more concerned about standing water. So underneath each one of these structures that's on concrete pillars or piers, the rest of it underneath is going to be dug out and basically a packed gravel bed. So water will displace, it will not pond up, we won't have stagnant water. If somebody needs to work underneath it, there's a 4-foot clearance. It's not like the crawl space underneath a trailer like you would see in the States. There's actually room to navigate, fix piping, run new wiring, or whatever have you. And the other end of that is with the shipping containers, the biggest issue is sealing them and using insulation. Well, when you use insulation, the walls are only 8 feet wide, and then the metal itself is 2-inch thick corrugated steel walls. And then you add 2x4s and you add drywall, and suddenly you've lost a foot in width to that room. So now you've only got 7 feet. So less concern with a lot of insulation, because I plan on putting the houses underneath a larger pole barn, which means you don't have direct rain or direct sunlight on the actual dwellings. And being that I'm buying the one-off units that have only been shipped from China to here once, they still have the marine grade paint intact, which means you don't need to repaint them for 20 or 30 years. They're designed to be on a deck of a large cargo ship being hit with saltwater spray in storms. So increase the longevity of the outer hull, deflecting the heat, deflecting the direct sun, deflecting the rain from it. And then on that larger pole barn roof is where you attach the solar, which I was on a long discussion about a week ago, hearing modern prices with the solar that's available here, and a couple good do's and don'ts from people that have actually been in the business in other countries and utilize on larger than home use down here. So my ears were wide open. I took notes. Yeah, I could start doing that build in roughly a year. I'm thinking for my birthday, July of 26. I'm hoping to purchase the land and then start building the perimeter wall for the property. And I'll be building it in stages. So 1 year renting allows me to purchase land and begin construction. 2 years renting allows me to pretty much finish construction and possibly buy a car. That's how much savings in housing down here. What I'm staying in right now, this Airbnb, which I'm writing a beautiful review for them. I'm moving out in 1 week, so I'm leaving early. The family's been great. They brought buñuelos over to me twice. If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of a side dish / dessert. It's made with yuca. Down here it's made with yuca. Other people do different varieties of it. But it's yuca with a little bit of cheese, and it's quick fried. And then you dip it in a honey cinnamon sauce, and it's to die for. So they've brought me over the yuca buñuelos con queso twice. And they don't last long in front of me. So they're going to be getting a great review. But this was an $800 a month Airbnb. I paid $800 for the hotel in Managua. I was paying $200 a week at the short-term hotel here. So I've consistently paid a rate of $800 a month for housing as a tourist in Nicaragua. If you look for long-term housing, you should be looking to pay half of that, if not better. And then the question of which utilities, if any, are included. Is it furnished or not? So if you saw the prior videos, you saw the little 2-bedroom, 1-bath that was up in Molina Norte, and that was going to be very inexpensive. That was under $450 and utilities included. And then the realtor, Wendy Gutierrez, shout out to Wendy, I confirmed with her the all-white unit that I posted before, that I did the walkthrough one, which was a very large 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and full kitchen, living room, and it had a 1-unit garage down in the basement, down on the first floor. That is still available here. It's about 2 blocks from where I'm staying now. and the listing price on that right now is $400, but I was told it's negotiable. Unfortunately, the one with the beautiful deck view on the roof, that was gone very quickly. That was going to be $500. I couldn't put money in their hands fast enough. It wasn't meant to be. And then the overpriced one up in Lomas de San Francisco, a beautiful home by North American standards, gorgeous floor, unfurnished, but $600 a month unfurnished is a lot of money here. So I know that sounds like a bargain compared to North America, but it's very easy to get gringo priced here because the price is what somebody's willing to pay for it. The list price is irrelevant. If you saw this house and go, well, golly gee, in Florida, that would easily be $2,000 a month rental. So 700's a deal, 600's a deal. No, 400 unfurnished in that neighborhood because there is security with no utilities included. That would be a fair deal. But the 600 pricing on it, 700 price, it was 700 pricing, she was willing to go to 600. Was way overpriced for an unfurnished unit with no appliances, no utilities, just wasn't doing it. I will please remind all of you, do not look at real estate from online. If you see it online from the States, if it's in English, you're going to pay too much. You have to get boots on the ground. You have to speak to people. You have to drive through neighborhoods. You have to look for the rental signs. There's not a lot of them. And often, if you've seen my walking videos, the outside of a building does not tell you what's on the inside. So here, it's not all about the glam, pomp, and circumstance for it all on the outside. It's really the outer part of the house, and more often than not, is deliberately avoided, and it's about what you do on the inside. So you could see something you think looks like like a factory district of rundown old buildings, because the majority of buildings here are built with concrete and metal. That's the durable material that lasts for decades. Wood here, most North American wood would be subject to termite food. A lot of the wood that's available for construction here is pine and still not good for long-term construction. So unless you have the money to fork out for mahoganies, teaks, and other expensive hardwoods that are exotic woods beyond decorative finish, you would pay a lot of money to have housing done with any kind of wood for longevity purposes. So concrete and metal's it, and I'm looking at shipping containers and minimal concrete for my future home. So I'm in the right place, especially once again, there's no earthquakes on this side, no tsunamis and things like that. Devastating rain would potentially be a mudslide pending on the landscape you're on, and that's it. The roads are subject to flooding when they get a lot of rain. You're in a valley. So the new unit I'm moving to is about 4 blocks east of here. I will officially be living in barrio Guanuca. So I'll be, I'm not sure if it's Guanucan or not, or whatever it is, but that's going to be my new neighborhood. That's my new barrio. And I'm stoked. I am one step closer to being a permanent resident here. Again, you don't go for citizenship, but the closest to establishing a home for myself on the long term and make it feel like a home. So if I can rent for 2 years in this unit, save money, and then be able to build a house and buy a car, I'm loving life. A lot of potential great things happening. Now I need to go back and focus on my Spanish studies. So I've gone long-winded for about 19 minutes now. I want to do a quick shout out for those of you that are subscribing, watching, sharing, commenting. Please, if you haven't done it, help me feed the YouTube algorithm gods. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, ask questions. I normally respond pretty quickly because I'm retired and I don't have a lot of on my palate and plate right now other than food and Spanish lessons. So the beauty of being retired. With that, I wish you all well. Audio until next time, and thanks for subscribing to Journeys of a Malcontent.